Today, I'll be fulfilling a lifelong dream to visit Tokyo, Japan, known for its unique blend of traditional and contemporary culture, amazing cuisine and natural landscapes, from temples and shrines to cherry blossoms and bamboo forests. But getting there is half the fun, especially if you love flying like I do. So come join me on this epic journey where I'll be indulging on this almost 14-hour first-class flight on one of the world's best airlines. So we start this exciting journey en route to London Heathrow Airport on a typical grey evening. The taxi drops me off to Terminal 2, but with over 3 hours before departure, I have ample time for some plane spotting as I watch this BA Boeing 777 race down the runway. Hello and welcome to Heathrow Airport Terminal 2. You join me today where I'll be flying on ANA First Class the Suite all the way to Tokyo, Haneda. Check-in for ANA First Class is nothing special, but they do have a dedicated first class lane, which seems to be moving quite fast. With boarding pass in hand, I'm ready to head to the lounge. Through immigration and security, and after a bit more plane spotting, I made the long walk to the lounges. Now, I was informed by the check-in staff that given ANA has just the one daily flight from Heathrow, they don't have a dedicated lounge. Therefore, I would normally have access to the Singapore Airlines Silver Chris Lounge. But as that was shut for refurbishment, I was relegated to the United Club Lounge instead. To be honest, given the aviation geek that I am, I was a bit disappointed about this, but wasn't going to let it get me down. We'll just have to wait and see if it is befitting of the ANA first class experience. Hang on, is that? No. Finally made it after a very long walk and welcomed with a warm smile. And actually, the United Lounge isn't too bad at all. It's big, it's spacious, it's clean and shiny, has everything you'd expect in a business lounge, from soft drinks and juices, hot drinks and snacks. There's a well-stocked bar, if that tickles your fancy, and ample seating to kick back and chill out before your overnight long-haul flight, magazines and various literature in the business or work area. Food-wise, it's actually a pretty decent selection. You've got chips, nuggets, lasagna, meatballs, rice, some kind of quinoa or couscous, chili and some greens, bits and dips, a varied salad selection, sandwiches, cheese and meats. But I'm flying on ANA First Class. There's no way I'm filling up on this. I have a feast of feasts that awaits me on board, and that's where I'll be indulging. After a sweet treat and a cup of tea, it's time to head to the gate. There she is, the beautiful Boeing 777-300ER. Such a cuddly looking aircraft with a kind face. Don't you find some planes look a bit menacing? Just saying, Boeing 737. I just love peering into the flight deck to see what's going on. When I was younger, I was lucky enough to be able to visit the flight deck mid-flight. Alas, those days are gone. So here goes ANA First Class, ready to board. Hello, konnichiwa.
Welcome aboard.
How are you?
Good, thank you so much.
Wow, my seat 2K. Seriously, it's huge. To say this seat is impressive is a gross understatement. The first thing that struck me are the sleek lines and the elegant dark wood tones over Japanese simplicity at its very best. The colour scheme is muted and not garish at all, but for a Japanese carrier, that totally works. As you'd expect, ample storage to tuck away my belongings, and just take a look at that screen. Rich colours just oozing out of this 4K HD bad boy. It's literally the width of this mammoth seat. Cannot wait to enjoy this experience. There's a handheld control for the IFE and loads of buttons to set up your seat in recline or bed mode, and I even get 3 windows to myself. Nice to take a look down the length of the fuselage before anyone else boards and to scope out the business cabin, aka the room, which are impressive, but I've got the best seat in the house, or plane, I should say.
We will now explain the safety features of this aircraft, so could we please have your full attention? Please place your baggage in the overhead.
Finally, we push back and begin our taxi towards the runway. So glad to be getting out of this rainy sky. Before you know it, we're speeding down the runway, which is like watching takeoff at the cinema, albeit with a bit of a bumpy, shaky camera. ANA flies its 777s to the UK and to the US. These aircraft have the latest seat designs. European cities, however, are serviced by the 787 Dreamliner, which has the oldest seat setup. Glad I'm on this one. Here's a quick tour of what you can expect. In economy, it's the standard 343 configuration. Have to say, looks really good. Further ahead is premium economy in a 242 config, then business class, aka the room, which is only offered on the 777. Just take a look at the width of that seat. Is it the widest seat in the sky? Perhaps only superseded by Japan Airlines' new business class on their A350s. Must try both one day. And then my home for the next 14 hours, first class, the suite. No need for words. Right, time to take a look at the goodies, and these are a great pair of Sony noise cancelling headphones. I actually own the earphone equivalent myself, and the sound quality is excellent. The Amenity kit is by London company Ettinger, known for its top-end leather products. And if we take a peek inside, there is this plastic fold-up carrier bag, which is a bit of a strange thing to receive in an Amenity kit, but I have to say it's come in really handy for trips down to the shops. I use it all the time. We have this luxury pack of Sensei skincare products, including lotion, cream and lip care treatment, and this rather nice Ettinger ANA embossed purse wallet thingy, which is nice. As you'd expect, pyjamas are provided on this overnighter, and these are probably the best PJs I've ever worn. Seriously comfortable. Alongside is a luxurious soft cardigan, but unlike the PJs, you can't take this home. Right, time for a seat tour with a difference. ANA have this on-screen comprehensive tour which I thought I'd film. To kick things off, to your left there is this handy closet for coats and jackets. Also to your left, depending on which side of the cabin you're sitting in, is the fully closing door. I had this open for most of the flight until bedtime, at which point the privacy was well received. More on that later. If seated in the center cabin, ideal for couples, then you have a center partition which you can lower and raise as you please. After all, this is a long flight. A huge table emerges from the front and is solid and sturdy enough to jump on, but I wouldn't do that. Safe for dining and working on though. Below you have loads of space for bags and shoes, and to the right there is more stowage and all the usual charging ports. Right next to your head there is a conveniently placed mirror to check the state of your face after a long sleep, which on this comfy bed I would imagine it shouldn't be too shabby. A glasses rest area is always handy, and to the right are the controls for your seat. There is a cleverly designed wheel which reclines your seat between takeoff and bed mode. Nice thinking ANA. The usual array of light combinations. All in all, as you can see, a very solid product from ANA and a very nice place to be. The table is set and I am starving. ANA offers a Japanese or international option. Flying first class on a Japanese airline, I of course opted for the former. The first course was a selection of amuse-bouche, of cheese sticks, a green dip, a crumbly pastry tart, and a macaroon that lasted about 1 second. Yummy. Next up was the crumbly pastry tart, which was absolutely divine. I polished that off in one mouthful, followed by the cheese sticks dipped in the green dip, and as you can see, the approving look says it all. So far, I was a happy chappy. For the next course, I opted for a little something indulgent from the international cuisine menu. Yep, you guessed it, caviar, accompanied with bellinis, lemon juice, egg whites and egg yolk, onion and sour cream. Amazing. Now things get really interesting with the Japanese cuisine, but in all my gastronomic excitement, I completely forgot to take pics of the menu, so this might be a bit hit and miss. It does look rather nice and impeccably presented. Zensei is the name of this course, aka a selection of morsels. That's a piece of mackerel and tasted great. Not sure what this next piece is. It tasted okay-ish and quite strong fish flavored. As you can see from my face. Next we have simmered black soybeans in syrup, which was sweet and creamy, and that's followed by a prawn which I'm trying to hypnotize you with, and it tasted like a prawn, quite firm and prawnish. Finally, we have the simmered herring roe in wasabi sauce, which I found a bit mushy and bland, to be honest. Next course is called a wan, aka a clear soup with produce, i.e. scallop fish cake stuffed with yuzu peel. Then we have otsukuri, a selection of sashimi, Pacific, bluefin tuna and spear squid. Then came the main course. This was another fish dish accompanied with rice and various tidbits and treats. For dessert, I opted for the apricot tart with ice cream, and it was insanely delicious, as you can see, completely polished off. I should add, for drinks, ANA does offer an extensive selection with some high-end Krug champagne and a 1,000-pound Hibiki 21 whiskey. Time to kick back with a Denzel movie and enjoy the flight. The in-flight entertainment isn't bad on ANA, not as extensive as Emirates, but still a wide enough selection to choose from. Movie over and a quick check of the in-flight map, I see there are 9 hours remaining, enough for a good, solid sleep. I did consider staying awake for the duration and savour all that first class has to offer, but I'd be a broken man when arriving in Tokyo. So I decided to get changed into my comfy pyjamas, whilst not just one but two kind FAs made up my bed. Premium service indeed. The bed, as you'd imagine, is huge, with a mattress provided, by far the most comfortable I've slept in at 38,000 feet. Closing the doors made for a real private cozy cabin feel, and I gently dozed off. Some 6+ hours later, I awoke to this sea of clouds. Thoughtfully, the FA had left some water, and as I woke, I ordered my breakfast. A plate of vibrant coloured fresh fruit to start with, and yes, it did still taste very fresh, accompanied with some yogurt, marmalade and orange juice, followed up with a bowl of the vegan ramen noodles and some chili paste. Really flavoursome. Quick check of the map, and not too far from destination. Where did all the time go? Suppose it flies when you're having fun, and having fun is what I did whilst flying. Having entered Japanese airspace and with final approach approaching, time for me to share my final thoughts on the whole experience. 14 hours whizzes by in first class. We've all done the long haul at the back of the plane, and it's a slog. So no wonder time went by so quick. You're treated to fine dining with ultimate relaxation and a very restful sleep, waking up fresh on the other side. ANA for me excelled in all of these areas. The dining on board was simply sublime, albeit the Japanese menu had some interesting flavours, but nonetheless very high standard food that I hadn't tried before. Dining in first class is one of the big draws, and ANA not only lived up but exceeded expectations. I look forward to the return leg, which I luckily also flew at the front of the plane. The cabin itself is aptly named the suite because it's big and comfortable, elegant and classy with no sign of bling in sight, and very easy on the eyes. The attention to detail by the FAs was on point, subtle yet attentive, welcoming without being intrusive. The respectful Japanese culture really came through. The land of the rising sun looked amazing in the setting sun. The sprawling Tokyo skyline seemed to stretch out for an eternity, home to over 37 million. What a view as we come into land, seems to go on forever. Whilst in Tokyo, I was speaking to a Japanese chap, and he mentioned to me that mostly TV celebs and CEOs of companies, and of course the rich, fly ANA first class. So I was chuffed that little old me managed to bag this seat. Disclaimer, I'm none of the above, by the way. But I will be making a short video of how I did book this flight, so keep a lookout for that on my channel. Lastly, if you did enjoy the video, then please give it a like, and if you subscribe, that would be much appreciated. And of course, any comments are most welcome. This is a new adventure for me, and I hope to make many more videos in the future. But as a wise man once said, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Take care and happy, safe travels.